It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to this special edition of Science Bowl. This is it, the ultimate. We started back with 16 middle schools back in September, and this is the championship game. 2 finalists here trying to win the crown. Let's meet today's teams. First from Greenbelt Elementary School, would you please welcome Chidima and Bubuisi Aluavu, Alex Swizdak, and Aname Efe. And from Martin Luther King Jr., here they are, Ryan Sokolovsky, Michael Stroud, and Christian Nieto. Now here are the categories of questions we use on the Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on the Science Bowl, our game board reflects question difficulty. Easier questions on the left worth 5 and 10. Tougher ones worth 15, 20, ultimately 25, the toughest of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points apiece. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. Then to the 2 rounds today, we will have a new county champion in this, our 30th year of competition. Martin Luther King has been a previous winner. Greenbelt is looking for their first win ever in our 30 years. We anticipate a good game. Let's make sure everything works properly. Let's go to the red team. Alex, looks and sounds good. Good luck to you and to Anime and to Chidima. And Mike, would you try yours? The green team looks like it's ready and raring to go. Good luck to you, to Christian, and to Ryan. All right, this is it, guys. Congratulations. Let's have a super game. We go alphabetically G before M. So, Alex, let's play this bowl.
Dateline Science for 15.
Dateline for 15 points. Team's doctors now think that lost memories may be recoverable in people suffering from this A-initialed Greenbelt.
Alzheimer's disease.
Alzheimer's, yes, the personality-robbing disease. Red, please.
Science Potpourri for 15.
For 15 points in Science Potpourri, Mayim Bialik, who plays Amy Farrah Fowler on The Big Bang Theory, is in real life what kind of N Greenbelt?
A neurophysicist. Neurophysicist?
No. Martin Luther King, Amy Farrah Fowler, who is actually Mayim Bialik in real life, is on The Big Bang Theory, and she studies what N-initialed branch of science that deals with nerves and the brain.
Neuroscience?
More information, please.
Neurology?
Yes, we will give you credit for neurology or neurobiology, but not neurophysics. Go again, green.
Zoo Parade for 15.
Zoo Parade for 15 points. Teams, you probably never thought about it, but elephants actually communicate with each other by these kinds of waves that we normally... Martin Luther King.
Sound wave? No, seismic waves.
Seismic waves, absolutely right. They're creating little earthquakes as they walk along. Nicely done. Go green.
Body system for 15.
Body system for 15 points. People who have malfunctioning kidneys can get the poisons removed from their blood by undergoing this D-initialed Greenbelt. What you got? Something.
Dialysis?
Dialysis is what I want to hear. That's it, Alex. Good. Go.
Please. Dateline Science for 20.
Dateline for 20 points. Teams, the eradication of guinea worm, which is a parasite that plagues Africa, is very close to fruition because of the efforts of this 39th President of the United States. Greenbelt.
George Clinton?
No,
Bill Clinton.
Not Clinton. Martin Luther King, this 39th President of the United States, through his efforts, the scourge of the parasitic guinea worm may be removed from the African continent.
George H.W. Bush.
Jimmy Carter and the Carter Institute. He won the Nobel Peace Prize for all of his work across the world with a lot of these epidemic diseases. Try again, red.
Let's get physical for 15.
For 15 points, and let's get physical. Teams, for a long time, astronomers wondered why the surface of Mercury was kind of black. Now, Mercury's deep, dark secret has been revealed. It is the same form of carbon that you find in your pencil. Greenbelt?
Graphite.
Graphite is right, indeed. Good. Alex, go.
Science potpourri for 20.
Potpourri for 20 points. Teams, your question is as follows. Many Olympic athletes now know that they can take certain antihistamines for their allergies because they do not contain what? Steroids. Greenbelt?
Steroids?
Steroids, absolutely right. Associate with bodybuilding. They are steroid-free. Thank you, Chidima. Go red, please.
Let's get physical for 20.
Physical, 20 points. Teams, a student's science fair project in the Intel Science Talent Search, the biggest science fair in the country, recently came up with a method for having plastic bags and milk jugs decompose.
Making them biodegradable?
No, Greenbelt. I hadn't gotten to the question yet. This student showed that milk jugs and plastic bags could biodegrade or decompose in 6 months instead of 5 years if you add the chemical TiO2, which is also found in sunscreens. I'll give you these points if you can tell me what TiO2 is.
Titanium oxide. Titanium dioxide?
Yes, sir. Nicely parsed, Alex. Good job. Go. What you got?
Science potpourri for 25.
Science potpourri for 25 points. Teams, when milk is pasteurized, it is heated to kill most of the bacteria. If you wanted to kill all the bacteria, you wouldn't pasteurize it. You would do this to the milk. Greenbelt.
Evaporate and condense it?
No, good try. If you wanted to get rid of all of the bacteria, you wouldn't pasteurize the milk. You would do this to it.
Purify it?
You would sterilize it. You would sterilize it. Try again, red.
Body systems for 20. Body systems for 20.
Body systems, 20 points. Teams, someone who has the worst form of heart disease has this chamber of the four in most trouble. It is the thickest and most muscular of the four heart chambers. Which one is it?
Atrium?
Be more specific.
Atria. Right atria?
Not right atrium. Which of the four chambers of the heart is the thickest and the most muscular? And if it is diseased, heart disease is quite serious.
Left atrium?
Left ventricle, the one at the bottom there. Try again because it pumps the blood all through the body, through the aorta. All right, the buzzer says our first round is over. Right now, Greenbelt is at 135, Martin Luther King at 80. We'll be back with the second round of this finale in just a moment.
Simple moments are what make every day count.
Welcome back to Science Bowl. Here we are, the last part of the last game of this season, our 30th year here in Prince George's County Public Schools, and it is a tough go here. These young people have been through a lot of games, and here they are, and they're giving it their best shot, and we're just so proud of all of them. If you've not met them before, let's introduce them to you now. Let's go to Greenbelt Middle School, and Alex, the principal at your school.
Mr. Covington.
Mr. Covington, he's out there. I know he's cheering for you. And the sponsor of your team, I know right now Miss Glenn is with you.
Yes.
And we know that your longtime sponsor, Dr. Gupta, is ailing. And we wish him well. Santosh, we miss having you here today. And all Godspeed and get well. We want to see you back here real soon. Tell me about any alternates you had on your team.
We had Ryan, who is here today.
Yes. That's great. And we'll bring him out in just a few moments. With Miss Glenn. And Alex, tell me about Greenbelt. It's a relatively new school, and I know you like the technology over there.
Yeah.
Do you have any clubs?
Yes, actually, we have quite a lot of programs. A lot of them are science. There's an astronomy club. There's robotics that we have. We have a living classroom which does science. It's Miss Tividat and Miss Pagutson run it. There are a few other clubs, some of them which do like oratory, which is run by Mr. Pappelman.
Yeah.
There's some other stuff as well.
Wow, lots of choices over there. Yeah, school is not just the academics in the classroom, it's all those extracurriculars that really make an impression on you, help you out when you get to high school. What do you want to do someday, Alex?
I want to be an astrophysicist.
Yeah, do you want to go to the University of Maryland? I see you
Yeah.
got Terp Pride
Yes.
there already. Yeah, you do a real nice job here today. Anime, tell us about yourself. What do you hope to do someday?
I would really like to be a pediatric cardiologist. So basically, diagnosing and treating heart problems in infants and kids.
Now that's very specific. Where did that interest come from?
Okay. Well, I was in class one day and we were talking about systems. I was talking to my teacher and we were talking about like bodies and stuff, and it kind of came up with the heart, and I was like, but I kind of want to be a pediatric, so I just kind of merged both of them.
Yeah, well, that's wonderful. And I know your teammate here, your colleague, Chidima, who's been with us many years here, she's just such an outstanding player. You're also interested in pediatric cardiology, are you not?
Yes.
And how did that interest develop?
Well, from like a really young age, I knew I wanted to be a doctor.
Yeah.
So the only problem was to find out what type of doctor it was. And I find that I really like working with little kids, and the heart is really interesting. So might as well put it all together and you get pediatric cardiothoracic surgeon.
I like that. And you've got a lot of training ahead of you.
Yes, I
and
do.
You have the discipline and the wherewithal and the intelligence to make it through, and those kids are going to be lucky to have you someday, along with Dr. Anime over there. Martin Luther King, nice to have you guys with us back here. Now, I know the last time you were here, you were the red team, and the red team was the green team. So you're, as you said, Mike, is it easy being green or not?
I don't know.
Well, yeah, well, we'll find out later, right? Tell us about Martin Luther King. It's over there in Beltsville, and Miss Wiltison is your great principal. And Miss Butler, longtime sponsor. Elizabeth has been such an asset to us here on Science Bowl. Any alternates on your team?
Yes, we have Kevin and Rahel.
Good. We'll bring them out in just a few moments here. And you were telling me about some of the extracurriculars the last time you were on here, and you said the teachers are just great over there. What else about Martin Luther King should we know?
Well, as I did say, the extracurriculars and all the opportunities that MLK provides in the regular school day and out of the regular school day make a lot of the kids want to succeed, and it really makes the whole operation over at MLK run really smoothly. So the teachers, they're wonderful. They're really good at what they do. I mean, they want you to learn. They want to have a good time too. So.
Yeah. And if they want to have a good time, and that is part of the life. If you're having a good time, a lot of times that's contagious, and whoever is in front of you is going to pick up on that. And I like what you said. They want people to succeed, and the students there want to succeed as a result of that. So that's a winning combination. Mike, you want to be a professional baseball player possibly someday, and the backup plan B, is working for NASA, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And favorite sport?
Baseball.
Baseball, of course, yeah. Christian, nice to have you with us today. Tell us why you wanted to be on this show, because you do so well.
Well, previously I've been told by a friend about it, who is actually an intern on this team, and I found it interesting, so I went out to join.
Yeah.
And
you really contribute a lot. How do you know so much science?
I read, and I watch videos about science.
That's wonderful. And it shows because you really come up with a lot of good answers, and you're interested in child psychiatry. So you're interested in helping children just as Anna-May and Chidima are over here. And Ryan, you may be an editor someday or something with music, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us about your musical interests and talents.
Well, I play the oboe and the piano. I like music a lot. I listen to it. So, and I also want to be an engineer. So if you combine those, it's a music editor, filmmaker type person. So.
That's wonderful. It sounds like you got a lot going for you. Alex, would you put your mic on for us? I think that might have fallen off, and we just want to make sure we can hear you. Ryan, what do you do in your spare time?
Well, I play on my computer. I play Minecraft. I also play Ark and Skyrim. I play the oboe and piano. So.
That's wonderful. Well, you're a talented guy, and we're lucky to have you here. Alex, why don't you do a little mic check for us? Can you just say your name a couple times?
Alex.
How are we doing in there, Chuck? Okay, all right. Let's get back into our game. 80 points for King, 135 for Greenbelt, and last correct answer came from Alex. So start us out, if you would.
25. Dateline science for 25.
Dateline for 25 points is a visual question. Could you all look at the monitor in the studio, please? The spacecraft that is a cargo ship that supplies the International Space Station is known as the Cygnus spacecraft, named after this constellation that, if you know your constellations, you know that it looks like what bird? Greenbelt for 25 points. What were you asking? Cygnus is a what? What you think?
Eagle?
Not an eagle. Good try for 25 points. Cygnus. This constellation is the name of the cargo ship that supplies the International Space Station. Can you name the bird that Cygnus is?
Swan.
It is a swan. Absolutely right for 25 points. A young swan, in fact, is known as a cygnet, C-Y-G-N-E-T. Go, please. Green.
Green things for 15.
Green things for 15 points. Teams, your question is as follows. Be careful on this one. When insects attack a tree, like beetles, they make holes in the bark, but the tree doesn't take it lying down. In the tree's bark, but not in the xylem or the phloem, this substance comes out and helps plug up the holes.
Sap?
No, sir. Martin Luther King, what substance comes out of the bark and helps to seal that hole and even helps to kill the invaders?
Venom?
Not venom, resin. Resin is the right answer. Sap is nutritive, found in the xylem and the phloem. Let's turn that red light off and go back to Michael to choose.
Let's get physical for 10.
Let's get physical for 10 points. Teams, a lot of us in Washington are still upset with the Smithsonian Museum of American History for taking out this device invented by Foucault that hung from the ceiling and swayed back and forth and let you know, Martin Luther King.
A grandfather clock?
Not a grandfather clock. Good try. Greenbelt, what is this device that was hanging from the ceiling at the American Museum of Natural History, and as it swung back and forth, it knocked over pegs, illustrating that the Earth rotates on its axis?
Pendulum.
Pendulum, yes, sir. Alex, you all right? Yeah. Okay, go red.
Body systems for 25.
For 25 in body systems, a multiple choice question. Teams, a young lady recently won $150,000 in the Intel Science Talent Search for inventing a $35 spirometer, which will help doctors in the third world diagnose ALS, Ebola, or COPD. Greenbelt.
COPD?
COPD, because spirometer refers to respiration. It is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Good answer. Go red. 170, 105. Greenbelt.
Zoo parade for 25.
Zoo parade for 25. Big one in that category. Teams, if you go down to the South Pole, you will find a fish called the ice fish. Because oxygen dissolves so well in very cold water, that fish has no red blood cells and none of this substance to help carry the oxygen, Martin Luther King.
Hemoglobin?
Hemoglobin is right. Yes, indeed. Gentlemen, go.
Green things for 25.
Green things for 25. And I should remind you that let's get physical for 25, even though it's been extinguished. That question is still in play. Right now, you've asked for green things for 25 points. Here it is. Maybe you've never thought about this, but if you crack open a coconut, the meat of the coconut is actually this E-initialed substance. Greenbelt.
Embryo?
Not the embryo. Good try. What E initial substance is the meat of the coconut that is actually the food source for the developing embryo?
The
Help them out, Ryan and Christian.
what is the food source of the embryo?
It's called the endosperm. The endosperm. Try again, please. Green.
Zoo parade for 20.
Zoo parade for 20 points. Teams, if I told you that an insect like a dragonfly is tetrapteroid, T-E-T. Yes, Martin Luther King.
It has 4 wings.
It has 4 wings, absolutely right. You didn't need my spelling. Good. Mike, go.
Green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. Neonicotinoids. Neonicotinoids are new insecticides that people want to ban. They are so named because they are derived from this plant, Greenbelt. What you got?
Tobacco?
Tobacco, absolutely right. Should have heard nicotine in there, and that's what I hoped all of you would hear. Red, please.
Let's get physical for 25.
Let's get physical for 25 points. Teams, the New Horizons spacecraft found that Pluto tilts 120 degrees on its axis. Wow. That means part of Pluto is almost always in the sun. Here on Earth, the tilt of the axis is how many degrees? Greenbelt.
23.5?
Say it again.
23.5?
You got that right. 23.5 degrees. Perfect. Go.
Green things for 10.
Green things, 10 points. Question is a visual question. Look at the monitor in the studio, please. Well, the cherry blossoms are very small flowers. This largest flower in the world has a name that is a synonym for a dead body. Martin Luther King.
The corpse flower.
It is the corpse flower, indeed. Good, go. Stinks to high heaven.
The body systems for 10.
Body systems for 10 points. Teams, if a doctor is taking your pulse, he or she is palpating one of these that comes close to the surface of your skin. King.
Capillaries?
No, not capillaries. If a pulse is being taken by a doctor, that doctor is feeling for one of these that comes closest to the surface of the skin.
Vein?
An artery, an artery. That's why it throbs so much. Try again, green.
Zoo parade for 10.
Zoo parade for 10 points. Teams, this largest North American mammal at one time appeared on the back of the nickel. Greenbelt.
Bison?
Bison or buffalo from 1911 to 1938. Go red.
Science potpourri for 10.
Potpourri for 10 points. Teams, Linus Pauling, a Nobel Prize winner, best known for saying that vitamin C could cure most anything, made a mistake when he said that there were 3 and not 2 strands on this hereditary molecule. Greenbelt.
DNA?
DNA, yes sir, good, go.
Dateline science for 10.
Dateline for 10 points. Teams, buried in a coffin lined with lead, this woman's work with radium.
Marie Curie.
Marie Curie, yeah, they thought she was radioactive and they wanted to protect people even though she was 6 feet under. Go red.
Science for 5.
Dateline for 5 points. Teams, because of global warming, this state bird of Maryland may... Michael.
The Oriole.
The Oriole, yeah, may be out of here in 30 years and farther north. Green.
Body systems for 5.
Body systems for 5 points. Teams, because Pinocchio wasn't a real boy, he depended on Jiminy Cricket to do this, to tell the difference between right and wrong. He became Pinocchio's what? Greenbelt?
Conscious?
Say it again.
Conscience?
Conscience, absolutely right. Thank you, Chidima. Thank you, Aname. Go, Alex.
Let's get physical for 5.
Get physical for 5 points. Teams, Chevrolet really must like electric cars because it named its model, Michael?
Volt.
The Volt, the Chevy Volt. That's it. 3 left.
Zoo parade for 5.
Zoo parade for 5 points. Teams, you know that there are certain places that end in IA, like Transylvania, California, Pennsylvania, Australia. If you watch the movie Zootopia, the place where the mice and the rats lived was named for this order of mammals. Name the place, Mike.
Rodents?
Name the place.
Rodentia?
Rodentia, absolutely. Little rodentias where they live. Good, go.
Green things for 5.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, if this morning you got up and you thought, I wonder if I'm going to win the Science Bowl championship, you could have gone up to a palm reader, or you could have had someone read the leaves of this caffeinated beverage.
T.
Read the tea leaves is right. And last question, potpourri for 5 points. Teams, the recent movie Blackfish caused SeaWorld to stop breeding and performing these mammals. King.
The killer whale.
The killer whales are the orcas, yes sir. And with that, we come to the end of the game. Let's give a nice round of applause for everybody. It looks like Greenbelt has won its first ever county championship. We'll be back in a moment.
If you're like most families, you probably have video game fans in your home. But not every game is right for every kid, which is where the ESRB ratings come in. They help parents make informed decisions for their kids. And there's an easy-to-use mobile app that gives you detailed info on specific game ratings. Video game consoles have parental controls that you can set to block certain games by age rating, so they get all the fun, and you get peace of mind.
I tell people I have 3 kids, one of them's adopted, I just don't know which one.
I can't imagine having to be in a birth mother's position to make that choice.
You know, I was kind of just asking her, you know, what is your motivation? Why are you doing this? And she looked at me and she said, because you can give my son a life that I could not.
We always tell her, thank you. He is such a blessing to us.
Every day is just a ray of sunshine from him. So we're Chanda and Brian, and we chose adoption.
The Science Bowl is very special. I participated in it. I watch it. My children watch it. My grandchildren watch it. It's a legend, not just in Prince George's County, but throughout the state. And I just want to say congratulations for a job well done. 30 years and counting.
What a game here today. What a great way to end our season. And as I said right before the break, this is historic. In our 30 years here, never has Greenbelt won the middle school championship, and it has happened this time. And they are in good company because Martin Luther King, they're a 3-time winner. They know what this feeling is like, and they will be back again too. Our final tally today is Greenbelt 255, Martin Luther King 180, a hard-fought game. Let's give a nice round of applause to everybody, but especially to our Greenbelt winner. Alex is holding the trophy that is going to go to the school, and hold up your individual trophies that you can take back. And Miss Glenn, thank you for being here today. Dr. Gupta is getting one of those as well. And Chidima, this has to be very satisfying for you after all these years of competition. We're real proud of you. Martin Luther King, I don't want to see you guys go. You never gave up. You're competitors. Mike, you especially, and you were a great captain. And Christian and Ryan, thanks for doing this today. And Rahel and Kevin, thank you for being here. You were real integral parts of this team, and you can thank Miss Butler for all the hard work that she has done for this team for so many years. You know, she's just a class act. And we appreciate all of you being here today as well. We'd like to thank all of our interns that have been running the cameras here, both of our Camille's and Renice and Sammy and Josh and all of our judges who sit over there in the dark. You don't see them and they come here. We don't pay them. We just give them nice treats. Janine Dorothy and Esther Woodworth and Debbie Phillips and Mark Alvarez. And couldn't do this without our audio man. And he is back there right now, Rodney Jones. And this program for 30 years, I'm the man out front, but the guy who really makes this work is my colleague, my best friend, my brother, Chuck Wolf. And he's just amazing. He makes all this work, and we thank you because we couldn't do this without you either. Thanks for another great year. Hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.